There is only one indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today and forever. There is only one indigenous broadcaster.
Land of the rising sun we love and cherish, beloved homeland of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. But if the prize is death for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. Held to BIAFRA, consecrated nation, oh fatherland, peace be our solemn pledge. Defending thee shall be our dedication, spilling our blood will count our privilege. Now waving standard which emboldened thee free shall always be our flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscared will pass. When we are poised the wind of battle to heal, we shall remember those who died in mass. Then shall our trumpets peal the glorious song of victory. We score might and wrong. Oh God, protect us from dying in pitfall. Guide all our movements lest we go astray. Give us the strength to reach the humanist call, to give and demand, to count the cost each day. Bless those who rule to serve with reasonableness, to make this kind a land of righteousness. All hail Biafra. To bring little brain. Think very well, reason very well. They want to Islamize, they want to kill. We need to go, we need a freedom. We need a BIAFRA restoration. United Nations declare them wanted because they want to kill us. They want to wipe us. They want to finish us. Hey, they are the one. The Boko Harams. They are the one. Please declare them wanted. They are the liars. They are the cheats, thieves, and the criminals. Buhari, you are the one. Boko Haram, we know you. Israel, you are there. Support United Nations to declare them wanted. They want to Islamize us. They want to kill us all. They are the one Boko Haram. They can't stop BIAFRA. They are the baboons and the monkeys. The people by their side, they are liars. They are the baboons and the monkeys. They want to kill us, no way. BIAFRA must stand. There's no going back, cause we are the will of God. You need a gun, you need a weapon, you need a worship. Muhammad Buhari, you are the one. You are very bad, we know you. You need a gun, you need a weapon, you need a worship. Muhammad Buhari, what is your mind? Oh, Abasaya, Chikwabia Mainapaya, Abasaya, Chikwabia Mainapaya, Abasaya, Chikwabia Mainapaya, Abasaya, Chikwabia Mainapaya. Soldiers in the zoo, think very well, reason very fast. Come and join us now. BIAFRA is very real. Navy in the zoo, police in the zoo. Come and join us now. BIAFRA is very real. They want to Islamize. Come and join the BIAFRA now. Come and join a better place. Muhammad Buhari, you are the failure to Nigeria. Muhammad Buhari, you are the Boko Haram. We know Isoko Ahaba Ijo. We are all BIAFRA. Ibibio Shekiri Igede. We are all BIAFRA. Afik, we are BIAFRA. Igala, Iwocha, we are BIAFRA. Nobody can stop us now. Nobody can stop BIAFRA now. Come and join us. BIAFRA is real. They want to Islamize us. They want to kill. We are the ones. The Boko Harams. Muhammad Buhari, the president of the zoo. You are a failure. You cannot stop us now. We know you. We know you. Stop propaganda. Stop hypocrisy. Stop imposture. Stop sabotage. Come and join BIAFRA now.
There is is only one indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today and forever.
Yes, once again, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, conscientious people wherever you are all over the world, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you good night, depending on your time zone. As always, this is Radio Biafra Extra. We are streaming live through Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station. Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station, generally referred to as a child of circumstance, is an embodiment of pro-Biafran group who has come together to ensure that this all restoration effort is brought to a conclusive end. Having the mindset, the understanding, the knowledge that is going to take all of us to save all of us. It is being anchored by Diokpa Uche Ukafomefo, who is from Anambra State in Biafra land. He is the man who has assured us from inception that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. And by the special grace of the Almighty Creator, I am George ONYIBE, and I come from Abo and Yoma province, to be precise, in Delta State. I want to use this opportunity, as customary demand on this platform, to acknowledge all the pro-Biafran group. Mazi Odogu, Mazi Kenna Wanonini, Uchina Sibu, Ubidi Ubinu, our sister Rita Nebogu, of course Alhaji Asari Dokubo, Dr. Okado, Dr. Ngukenko, Omo Zurumba, members of the legislative, members of the parliament, the implementation as well as the executive of the Biafran de facto customary government. Name too numerous to mention. I acknowledge all of you, because only those who know actually know, those who are working hard to restore Biafra. And of course, members of Biafra Nation Alliance cannot be left out. The administrators, the board of trustees, acknowledge all of you this evening. Those of you who are working assiduously, who are against all odds for the sake of defending the truth. Of course, it does not need to defend. The truth does not need defend. Just let it go. You stand your ground and against evil and bloody men. You are highly appreciated tonight. I will move ahead to acknowledge the indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu. We told you. But it's unfortunate that you still live to underestimate anybody. There is confusion everywhere. This history of Biafra is that of the blood of the innocent. No guilty person there. And if we, in our widest imagination, will think we can soil the blood of these innocent people with our hands and walk away freely with it, and then we lie. It is your duty to curse everybody out. Your confusion is eating deep inside you already. I have to keep telling you, because most of you who are causing this problem, you know nothing about that IPOB. If you know, you will be ashamed of yourself now. You come out, you introduce Idu Igbo, Idu Nation, do every rubbish you want to do. But at the end of the day, the bottom line there is Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of Simeon Ekpa. Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the one insulting Igbo people. Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the Igbo people insulting Niger Delta people. Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of Fulani Janjaweed. Nnamdi Kanu is the everybody leader. Only on this Biafra de facto customary government is leader of nobody. And so each time you see them, they are distracting you, keeping your brain dormant. You see that they say, you are evil, you steal money, and then the Kanu family, this one family, they see them insulting themselves. At the end of the day, our supreme leader Now the Kanu is all their supreme leader. All these are game. One of the greatest weapons at our disposal is that we have the privilege of seeing the errors of the past of our fathers. We saw the mistakes they made. We saw the area they worked perfectly well. And it was left for us to combine their weakness and their strength together and then take advantage of it. But we are still leading our people on the same path. We are still repeating the same mistake and even making worse mistake. And if they could not escape the nemesis, are you the one that will escape it? With the knowledge of our disposal, you think you will have your way? Of course, this is my platform. Begin to insult, begin to abuse everybody. We are still looking into Nnamdi Kanu controversial arrest. So what they do is they collect amnesty, they collect money. Then in the morning they are Biafra, in the evening they are Nigeria. We know all those things. Can I just call the Jesus of Babylon worker? We are witness brothers die. Many are still dying. Many will still die. Every strategy, every modus operandi of these criminals, we know all of them. We are your guard. We will guide you till you do the right thing. And so do your job. China Sanwo-Olu is there. Recruit more, because your media propaganda, your media recruit, your strength are going down already. And so each time you listen to them, they tell you this one is evil, that one is evil, this one is evil. The way our brain function, we think any of them is saying the truth. It's a lie. Nnamdi Kanu is playing all of them like draft. He's playing all of them. The game of chess. And to China Sanwo-Olu, it is the game of truth. The king may be in charge of the chess, but his activity come to nothing without the presence of the coin. You can run to and front anywhere. Under our watch, nobody will be allowed to sell the next generation. Nobody. So be deceiving us. You are the maga and we are the mugu, but the end will justify the means. And so, having acknowledged indigenous people of Nnamdi Kanu, of course, Nne Nayanya has started creeping out. Ego Idesi Obodo 1, Ego Idesi Obodo 2, Ego Banko 2, Legal Bill 3. Come out and tell us he has not affected your account, because it's all about fundraising. But woe betide those men and women who will trade the next generation for naira and kobo, for pounds and shillings. Woe betide that man who will sell the next generation of Biafra for dollars and pounds. Woe betide all of you. Shame on all of you. Begin to raise funds. Ego Idesi Obodo, Ego Banko, Ego Tinko. Begin to raise money. We want a nation. We want to restore our nation. And there are reasons to it. We all witness everything we have gone through as a people. In an effort to change it, we came out. And now look at what you have become. No amount of propaganda, no amount of lie, no amount of deception. If you like, be anything you claim to be. All of you that are deceiving our people, prepare. At the beginning of this year, all of you were jumping on social media. I see they hot, I see they pepper. Everything you said we did. Are you not the one now accusing yourself? Oh, you are just awakening. Fasten your seatbelt, because the journey has just begun. All of you will confess. All of you will confess. You will confess. Failing to confess, you will suffer. You will suffer. Those who believed in you and they came out. Those who trusted you with their finance and their life and they came out. Those who have died, even in your hand, by your hand, all of them has risen up in the heavens, and you will not escape the judgment. Meto makage Chineke, meto makage ezim meto maka gị olileanya ndị nsọ meto maka gị Chimo ekwekwo n'aka o ka anyị buru arịa wena o ekwekwo n'aka anyị buru akpa ikpere alawa o ekwekwo n'aka anyị ji otu awena metụ anya ka gị Chimo ọkwa gị bụ echeta obi esike o ọkwa gị bụ ike anyị ji aga agaghị ọkwa gị kewara osimiri le o imekwa ọnwụ anya ga ka ọ tụrụ ime o ọkwa gị o Chineke o igbo oke mmiri na-ebu ogwe ọkwa gị yo Chineke ma n'ibuchi me n'ibuchi m ibuchi anya anyị ji ahụ ụzọ agada gbajiri ụzọ nwoke obiọma o olileanya nke ndị Biafra o anyị na-erere ọkụ na anyị na-agbara ọkụ ogene ka ga-eji toru gị ye gị nna anyị ga na-akwụ isi ala na-enye gị ekene Nebochimo. You are the one who has set our feet upon this path that we must follow. In the end, everybody will glorify your name. You will never share your glory with anyone. We humble ourselves before you. Continue to lead us. Do not judge us according to the errors of our way, but let your mercy overrule that judgment. Those who fail to repent, you know what your words say. Let their destruction come without remedy. Let their calamity befell them without remedy. And you see, for the innocent people who for the love of Biafra will do anything, zeal without wisdom, you must illuminate their way. You must enlighten their way, Father. We stand in the shadow of your mercy. He said. And of course, this having been said, without wasting much of our time, we have to proceed to our topic this evening, which is actually a continuation of our discussion yesterday. We talk about a topic titled Dominating Our Advantage. We made it clear to us that there are a lot of space we need to, our space must be controlled by our people. We give example of such space: social media space, political space, economic space, education space, religious space, cultural space, leadership space. As far as the region of Biafra is concerned, we are almost absolutely in no control of any of this space. I try to throw more light on our social media space. I point out what we are doing with our social media space compared to what other regions like the Yorubas, the Arewas are doing with their social media space. It is very difficult to see us dishing out particular information to achieve a particular goal. As Biafran, we are busy, everybody is behaving like a scalawa on our social media space. Very embarrassing. You dare not advise anybody. You dare not make your positive contribution. And those who want to do, they have biased mind already. And so, invariably, we are not in control of our social media space. But emphasis was laid, first of all, on our economic space. And then it was divided, or it is divided into three branches. Under the economic space, we have the agricultural space. We try to encourage our people. There is need for everybody to take over our agricultural space. Yes, once you say you are a farmer, as a Nigerian, I won't say as Africa, people look at you as a poor man. And that is because from the Nigerian setting, farmers are designed to be poor. In fact, everybody is designed to be poor. And so even when you are well paid, they will owe you salary. You can imagine the police crying for salary. They are hungry. And then you don't want them to extort money. With the gun you give to them, you don't want them to arm robber. You don't want them to do bunkery. And you give them gun. Anyway, I won't digress further. Farmers, once you say you are a farmer, it looks like you are the poorest man. But I can tell you, there are farmers that are very wealthy. And so don't let anybody look down on you. Go back to farming. There is sacrifice to be made in everything we do in life. Only those who are willing to pay that sacrifice, they are only the ones that emerge victorious in the end. And so don't shy away from it. You can try over and over and over, and you fail severally. Not until you succeed. Do not stop. You can take example of Surudo. He has contested for governor several times, and yet he continued. And I think he had the seat now. And so you may do farm and you lose. Take your time and find out why you didn't meet up. In the next season, put your energies on those areas. You will overcome. Time will not permit me to give you some of these encounter that could motivate you. But in the course of this discussion, we will get there. And so, we considered our agricultural space. We should be able to feed ourselves. We should be able to feed ourselves as a people, if indeed we want to be a nation. And of course, if I have to go back and quote some of the write-up from Mazu Chuka from Efo, he said our roadmap for Biafra restoration is the content of the Montevideo Convention on the right and duties of state. It is the declaratory theory or criteria for statehood, which is accepted as part of customary international law. He said for Biafra to be restored, there must be the following factors put in place. Number one, we need to have defined territory, even if the territory is disputed. Number two, it said there have to be a settled population. Number three, it talks about effective governance. And then number four, it talks about capacity to enter into international relationship with other state or country. But on this aspect, we are focusing on effective government, which are some of the things that gave birth to the de facto customary government. And I think it's one of the most important. Effective governance. If you can't govern yourself, who the heck will think they will put your life, their life in your hand? We all came together. We created a system. We talk about command and control. It was in 2019, towards the end of 2019, for the first time, IPOB as a global body, for instance, introduced code of conduct. Towards the end of 2019, IPOB as global movement introduced their code of conduct. They don't have. It was compiled by Dr. Okado, and then an emergency reconciliation committee was set up. But it was not for the interest of Biafran people. It was set up to victimize a cross-section of Biafrans, like Mazu Bide, like George ONYIBE, like Uche Mefo, including Dr. Okado. But of course, IPOB in Africa, or with under my jurisdiction, we've tried to manage ourselves with the code of conduct. It was written in 2015, and then we have modus operandi written in 2017. With the evidence of this, we were able to govern ourselves. Mazi Mefo, on the other hand, as a deputy director, was coordinating everybody around the globe with the help of other noblemen. But the code of conduct, the bylaw, was what placed all of us in check on ground here. Did you hear Biafra, everybody quarreling or everybody? It guided us, and those who knew. There is no single system of governance put in place, because when you can gossip to Nnamdi Kanu, when you are related to Nnamdi Kanu, when you are the ones bringing money, it favor you with justice. That is not governance. I know it may look as if I am digressing, but I have to do that in order for you to appreciate, understand where we are coming from, and appreciate where we are going to. One of the criteria according to the multi-video convention is that they have to be evidence of effective governance. Do we have it as a people? And under this governance, we begin to look at this area. If you govern an area, you must have dominion over every space within that territory. We're looking at the economic space. We have been able to review the agricultural space and the need why we must dominate it. Our brother talked about the issue of cow. We have native cow, but I can tell you most of us have not seen our own native cow. It's almost going into extinction. There is no single day they do burial without our cow. Somebody can come up with initiative. Somebody can invest. Let us begin to breed. If it takes genetically enhancing their quality, we do that. And you see, all of them are unique in their own way. And then, having considered the agricultural space, we move on to, under the same economic space, to consider the second branch, which is commerce and industry. We do not control this space. Commerce and industry involves in the transfer of goods or services from one person or entity to another, often in exchange for money. Commerce and industry simply means, or referred by economics as a means which involve in transfer of goods or services from one person or entity to another, often in an exchange for money. It is referred as a system of network that allow trade as market. So when we talk about commerce and industry, we do not control those space as a people, as Biafrans. I listen to many people. They encourage Biafrans and say, come and develop your place. Come and develop your place. We blame those building in Lagos. We blame those building in Kano, Kaduna. We blame them. But we have not all been entirely sincere to ourselves. We shy away from the truth. But having been exposed to the real situation, I do not blame them. I do not fault them. I can only pray that God will give them the grace, the courage, the enablement to stand up and fight against this monster. We talk about industrializing our area. It starts with networking of road and availability of electricity. Let us look at road, for instance. The east-west road that link the whole Biafra land together has been under construction for more than 27 years, and they have not completed it up till now. Most children who were born 27 years ago are graduates already. But every day you see government deliberately initiating policies and strategy that tells you East-West Road is under completion. It's Christmas already, and I tell you, they are going to tell you that they have given the contractors 3 days to complete the the what do you call it, to complete the construction of the east-west road. Why has it not been completed? Somebody is playing game. They give you money to complete it. They create a system where you will blame it on our governors, on our politicians. Of course, everybody get their self-indicted. A system is put in place. We have been hearing second Niger Bridge. How many years? We have industries functional here in Biafra land. What happened to Opila Cement? What happened to Ibeto Cement? What happened to Abakaleke Cement? What happened to all these companies here? Asabateza Mill, Abateza Mill. What happened to all of them? I visited a man that has a massive bakery in Anambra some time ago. And the man bakery is almost shut down. And my friend that took me there asked the man, "I know they to produce again." And the man told us that the federal government have assigned them to be paying a particular money. They must take the money to Abuja before they can run poultry in Anambra. And he said the Chinese, the Japanese, they come in, dish money to federal government of Nigeria, and they buy over all the market, and they don't have the money. And so you have Japanese giving us bread, and you have our own bakery fooding down. This is because we are not in control of our economic space. If you apply to Nigeria and you want to build a company, they will site it in Lagos or Abuja. On failing to abide by those supposedly the constitution of Nigeria, you will be victimized. And so those who are desperate to have investment in their supposedly fatherland Nigeria, as a Biafran, you don't have choice than to go to Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, except you want to build a hotel. The hotel is the only one they give you free tickets, because at least from there they can rubbish our women. They can defile our communities. And so, but if you don't know, you don't know. Every effort that has been made to industrialize our region is thwarted by the federal government of Nigeria. But of course, with all this evidence available, we cannot just sit back and say we do nothing. That is the idea of governance. That is the most important thing. We must organize ourselves. Imagine we come out, for instance, as a self-determination group, and we decide to build a company that will create employment for the people, doing genuine business. And then Nigeria will say, no, go and site it in Lagos and go and site it in Abuja. And then if it take us another 10 years to fight them and make sure that company stand where we want it to be, they will not be in a hurry to shut down another company. And that is the sacrifice we must all make. But the more we still capitalize, live under the influence of fear, as long as we choose to live in the prison of fear, our land will never be developed. Little wonder the oil wells we have. How many Biafrans have oil well that is in their compound? No way. We don't control it. We're talking about this time controlling our industries, commerce and industries. And so whatever you do, however you want to do it, on that very platform, we don't control it. We have companies, very few running today, and maybe people like Innocent Moto. If you look at Nigerian setting today, as a child from where I come from, the moment you finish primary school, they call then I was small, and then most of my cousins and uncles grew in our home. I'll notice my father and my mother will call all of them together, and they will ask them, you, what do you want to do? You want to further, or you want to learn work, trade? I know most of my uncle, most of my cousin, one of them said, well, I have to be sincere. Book no dey enter my head. I don't know why. I no wan go school again. And they said, okay, what do you want to learn? He said panebita. The other said mechanic. At least about 7 of them that were questioned, 3 of them said they do not want to go to school. And so at that tender age, they stopped school, and then they went to learn their trade. But I can assure you, even the ones that are graduates are not more successful than the ones that have handwork, the artisans. All of them did well for themselves. These days we don't consider it any longer. Most parents give up the moment they discover they cannot pay their children's school fees. They can't even guide them. Go and learn work. Go and learn trade. Some of them abandon them. And like a sheep without shepherd, the next generation of Biafra wander on the street. No wonder our youth are busy doing Niger bet, total bet, corn bid, Bitcoin, and the rest of it. But in the midst of these things, I will cite an example for you. Go and take statistic record of vulcanizers in Nigeria. You will see 90% of vulcanizers in Nigeria are Yoruba people. Our level down high, we no fit do vulcanizer. It will shock you. I want you to check mechanic workshop. As of this moment, about 50% of mechanics, technicians, they are Yoruba people. Our people used to take the lead on all these things, but gradually we are pulling back. We are going to the easy way. And so when it comes to commerce and industry, you cannot control the space. You cannot. And the only place to put all these things together is to have effective governance. Is to have effective government in place. They also understand this game. Most of their rich men will buy, for instance, motorcycle. They give to all of them. Almost 35 to 40% of every Okada rider from the west to the east, they are all Hausa Fulani. They must engage. They must be financially engaged, employed. They control those spaces. Whether it is scavengers, whether it is those selling orange, whether it's those selling sugarcane, but all of them must be financially engaged. But what are we doing? No effective governance. We're supposed to redirect these people, because in the course of controlling this space, it opens door for innovation. For instance, If I am a farmer and I have to cut down, let's say, palm tree, about 30 in one plot of land, and then I use the available tools, for instance shovel, and then maybe it takes me 2 days to fall one palm tree. You see, we begin to think on how to develop a means to be able to fall it faster. These are the things. It is necessity that gave birth to invention. These are the things that talks about advancement. I have seen somebody who plant, for instance, over 2,000 tubers of yam in one plot of land. And somebody say, how possible could that be? They've been able to reason and understand the need to improvise. You don't need the whole forest to make 1,000 tubers of yam. All you need to do is strategize. In the course of trying to do that, invention comes up. And of course, I'm not giving out that formula here. But I'm telling you, it is possible. You look at the Chinese farmer, you look at the advanced country, people create machines they use. And by the grace of God, I have a factory. I constructed the machine, the vibrating machine I use. I constructed it. I went to buy one. They told me it's almost 400,000 then. And I looked at the construction there. And this is something I can do. It is achievable. And the exorbitant price does not match what they are giving to me. I took time, I studied how it was constructed. I left. When I got back to my office, I made the drawing. I went to the steel market, bought scrap iron, asked a welder to cut them to pieces, gave the design to the welder. It's over 10 years now. That very machine is still working. But if I was not doing something, I won't think of manufacturing it. And if I have the resources, I begin to manufacture it, and then another business will come out from there. It will open door for more employment. The people of Biafra, without effective government, it is not possible. Whatever we want to do today or tomorrow, we start the planning today. You look at some of the achievement of Israel. Go and check the first prime minister of Israel. He's a scientist. He's a scientist. And so you should understand where they are coming from. This is not about who are to be there because you are not the Kano relatives. This is not when you say you have to be there because you are Igbo man or a Jaw man. This is the time you need to be there because you can do it. And so I will not go too far to enable you assimilate what you have been saying. Under the economic space, we need to reposition ourselves to control these areas. Not until we fight this monster, not until we face these challenges, not until we set our priority right, we will still be second-hand fiddle wherever we find ourselves. If we committedly initiate this strategy, we will be in total control of our economic space, which automatically project reasonable platform that will encourage stakeholders to be part of this oncoming nation. When these things are put in place, truly these people are marginalized, but they are helping themselves. These people are the government policy is not favorable to them, but yet they are helping themselves. The world know what we are going through in Nigeria, from the creation or amalgamation to this very moment. Our people at one point or the other has always agitated, has always registered their displeasure against this entity called Nigeria. It didn't start even with Adakaburu. You understand the issue of 1929. I'm not sure Adakaburu was born then. I'm not sure many people who agitate after them were born then. It dated as far back as we can remember. So the world knows our position. But I think what we lack is effective governance. And this is one of the requirements from the global community for those who seek for nationhood. 4 main points. One of them is effective governance. And of course, as we review other spaces that we need to dominate, it will link to other requirements. So the people of Biafra must understand, restoring Biafra is not a day job. You just wake up in the morning, Eluwa say Biafra will come this year. There's evidence that he sent me. Eluwa told you now he didn't send you. Strategies we need to put in place. People who understand these things, they advise you. The painful aspect is that we have been sent back even 40 years. All these things everybody is doing, it is effective planning, effective governance that will put us back on the platform. For now. I think I started telling you, ego dosi obodo, ego banko, ego chumunwanye. Continue contributing. But the danger there is that when we will need these resources, when we will need this financial assistance, when we will need these men and women you're discarding today, the ones available will not come. You think people are not taking no record? The same person say, hey, you are evil, they are the one calling themselves evil. The restoration of Biafra is not the job of one man. And as far as this matter is concerned, nobody takes a kingdom by words. We take it by action. In our own little way, let us begin to dominate. Let us begin to coordinate ourselves in order to dominate all these spaces. Not on the Nigerian scale as Biafrans. We can't even feed ourselves. And there is no plan for that. Our youth don't even know their left from their right. Because ordinarily, you will not go to the bush. Our men are in the bush, but your children are in air-conditioned school somewhere in diaspora. And other people's children are in the bush. And of course, somewhere along the line, somebody have to do that. But not because they were brainwashed to do that. Not because they were doing that for certain selfish reason, but because it was necessary. At this moment, our lines are open. And of course, if you want to call in and make your contribution, you are free to call in. Our direct line is 081 221 52971. 081 221 52971. And our WhatsApp line is 070 815 45642. 070 815 456 4. The lines are open. If you cannot access my studio line and you have access to any of my social media platform, you are free to call in. We are on FM, we are on satellite, we are on Simple Radio, we are on app, we are on Facebook. We have our website out there, and of course those of you in River State, you can get Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station within Obiakpo, some areas in Obiakpo and Ikure local government, some part of Igirita, some part of Eneka, Rumo Domanya, Rupoko, Rumo Koro, Ubiwale, Rumo Mo, Rumo Rusi, Rumukuta and its environ. And those of you in Anambra, of course within Ogbaru, Tere, Mpo, you can get the frequency 100.5. And those of you in Delta States, Headbridge, Ogbausa, down to Zene Junction, you can get Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station on FM. And of course, men and women are working very hard to make sure we have this FM across Biafra land. And so the people of Biafra, Igala, Idoma, Igbo, Anyocha, Osimiri Ndokwa, Mbito Rumbano, Mbisi Amando Bankwiri Olo, Abakeleke, Iza, Ifyong, Nkano, Ogbaru, Ihiala, Robo Ishekiri, Mbiama Otueke Patani, every Biafran. This is the time for us to rise up. Initiate effective government. Of course, with the presence of the de facto customary government, facilities are being put in place. Let us work together, transparently, sincerely, committedly, to ensure that we control our space. Like I said, our lines are open and you are free to call in. I'll be back in a minute. Do not forget, if we fail to fight for Biafran freedom, nobody will fight for us. I'll be back in a minute.
Reading from Biafran's Got Talents.
Africans will never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans will never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans will never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans will never be free until Biafra comes here. Englishman knows that, Frenchman knows that, Nigeria knows that. No. Englishman knows that, Frenchman knows that, Nigeria knows that. Yo. They are playing on your intelligence, life full of pretense.
are playing on your intelligence. They are playing on your intelligence. Their life full of breathings. Everything is diligent. Yeah. Oh, so every black man stand up for your right. Wherever you are, stand up for your right. So every black man stand. So every black man for your right. Freedom for Africa. Africa, freedom for Africa. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Englishman knows that, Frenchman knows that, Nigeria knows that. Englishman knows that, Frenchman knows that, Nigeria knows that.
We have been in this bondage for decades now. Oh,
For decades now,
they gave us their culture. They killed our prophets. They colonized our people with guns and bullets.
guns and bullets.
Biafra is our hope now.
Is our hope now.
Biafra is the hope of Africa.
So every black man stand up for your right. Wherever you are, stand up for Africa. So every black man has to stand up for your right. Freedom for Africa. Africa, freedom for Africa. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Africans should never be free until Biafra comes here. Englishman knows that. Englishman knows that. Frenchman knows that. Frenchman knows that. Nigeria knows that. Yo. Englishman knows that. Frenchman knows that. Nigeria knows that. Yo.
See them bad men working tirelessly day and night, trying to oppress and bring Jaja children down. So every black man even now for the heroes to be. Stand up for your right and let us free Africa. I know that Jaja won't let us down. You give us Biafra, our golden crown. Africa will rise and be great again. We've had enough of these tears and pain.
So every black man stand. So every black man for your right. Wherever you are, stand up for Africa. So every black man stand up for your right. Freedom for Africa. Africa, freedom for Africa.
Yes, of course, our lines are still open and you are free to call in. You're free to call in and make your contribution. And of course, in the absence of that, I will be getting ready to wind up. But the reason the Biafran de facto customary government, the reason we exist on the Biafran alliance Nations Alliance is to make you understand that there is need for effective governance. There is need for us to organize ourselves. There is need for us to remobilize our people. And at this stage, bring everybody focus, make everybody focus, because there are so much work to be done. It takes all of us to free all of us. Don't let anybody deceive you. This is still Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station, where our duty is to make sure that we do not allow, we cannot allow anybody to sell the next generation. It is not possible. Yes, sir, I have a caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
From Hamburg, Germany.
Well, welcome to the program. Good evening from here.
Good evening, Mazi. Mazi, I want you. Especially, I call because of this topic you bring today. This topic of teaching of at least having our own part of like as you said of agriculture. You know, I remember since all these days now, if you go to Facebook now, nobody is teaching the Biafrans what we're supposed to do on how can we stop eating Fulani this or Fulani product or whatever on whatever. The only thing I always hear is this one say, this one say, this one say, this one say. You know, since ever you are not a part of IPOB, Mazi ONYIBE, I just want to open up. I've never seen any person that can teach the Biafrans, especially this teaching you tell us, go back to your roots, this is what we're supposed to do, this is how we're supposed to live, this is how we're supposed to do. The only thing I always hear is Sabo, 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 Sabo. It's the only thing I always hear. And I wonder why it is like this. Why things is like this? Because if I tell you that things is working well, if things is working well, I'm a liar. Things is not going well. I have to be honest. I have to say the truth. Things is not going well. I remember those days when when our leader Mazin Nandekalo came on air. Maybe 3 days or 2 days, you will see another UTMF will come on air. You always be on air. People are calling. I always hear some people, some great people that even these people, their contribution move a lot of people, make me also to be so strong. I remember one brother. This brother always called from Israel. Obi Emmanuel, something like that. These are the people that always make effective part of this program. They always teach us. They always tell us what to do on how we have to do things. We hear from each other. But now, nobody, I can't even hear, since how many months now, how many years now, I've not been hearing people. The only thing I hear is Sabo, Sabo, Sabo. What makes this person Sabo? I don't know. What makes this person Sabo? I don't know. Mazi, I'm very happy. No matter anything that is happening, you are still talking about Biafra. You are still talking about the restoration of Biafra. This is where I stand. But when I look up to Facebook, everybody is fighting each other, telling this one Sabo. If this one make program today, another one will analyze it tomorrow. This one make program today, another one will analyze it tomorrow. Is it how this Biafra is going to come. Mazi, I am very. Remember in the olden days when you came back from school, that in any compound, there must be sugar cane, there must be shower shop, there must be all these small guava, all these small fruits. Before your mama or your papa finish cooking, you will take small pawpaw, chop small pawpaw before the food is get ready. But nowadays, all these things is no more. All these things is no more. Everybody want to eat China gari. Like as you said yesterday, everybody want to eat China food. Let me tell people that are listening, China, they don't even care for you. China, even if you like, the only thing that China want is only money. They only need your money. If China know that you people or Africans like Obono, let me just give this thing. If China know that you people like egusi, if China know that you like okra, China will plant that thing and they will plant it. The only thing they need is the flavor of that Obono. Only the flavor, even if it is wood, they grant the wood in the way it look like Obono. They put that flavor. If they put the flavor, they will sell it even in 20 containers to everywhere that people that want it. It doesn't care for, they don't even mind, they don't even care. Very, very important that we should go back to our roots. We should also know our food. We should also relate to our food, because every time we say Fulani, but you are still buying their cow, but you are still buying their goat, you are still buying their this one. But all these millionaires, they don't even create even where they can even put off that fowl or put off this. I remember even that the other day you talk about Simon Bakwe. Simon Bakwe is a great man. There is a brother that called in your program. Mazi, I listen to your program. No matter I don't call your program. Which program now can I call? Which program can I call? Can I call to Simon Ekpa? Can I call to this one? Can I call to this one? Because if you call, you ask a question, they will say you be sabo. Anything you talk, they say you be sabo. Is it how we are going to get this thing? I remember one word where Nnamdi Kanu said. He said that any attack on Uchemefo is attack on IPOB. Any attack on Uchemefo is attack on IPOB. We remember that on Ruben also, we supposed to be together. Togetherness is the key. Without togetherness, nobody, no part of one group. This is the opportunity. Wazirike is talking about Biafra. Uchemefo is talking about Biafra. George ONYIBE is talking about Biafra. A lot of people are talking about Biafra. Why can't we come together? The same thing we are talking about the Israel. We want to do like Israel, but Israel, I think they came together before they become one, isn't it? They came together before they become one. Even in the Bible, people also always talking about Bible. Jesus also, they said, the Bible says, the family that prays together always stays together. But these people say they are Christians, they are this one. But why can they come together and get this enemy out from our land? Everybody is always attacking each other. It can't work. For how many years now I just keep mute? Nobody is talking. Nobody is seeing what is going on. Everybody just attacking each other, making money in the Facebook. Nobody is teaching the children. What are we going to do the children? We said our forefathers, they did evil. Now we are here now. The forefathers are not there. What are we going to, our children are going to tell us tomorrow? They are still going to say that our father do evil. That means we also did evil. People are start casting demon. I asked one brother, say, if you say your ancestors do bad, you are binding your ancestors, you are casting your ancestors. Remember, tomorrow, your son or your daughter will cast you again. We bind and cast you. So my own contribution Mazi, this great nation, Biafra, this nation, people have died. People have died on this issue of Biafra. But people are still talking. Why can't we come together? Why can't we unite? But people are there fighting each other. Fighting. How long are we going to fight? How long are we going to fight? Me, if there is no togetherness, let them cut me out. I know that if they want to get it alone, it's okay, no problem. But the thing that bringing me in this struggle, Nnamdi Kanu say that togetherness, we are one family. We are one family, and that one family. Why this one is in Ugota? Why this one is in Ebema? Why this one is in Anambra? This one in Imo State. Why? But they say we are one family. We are one family. People are still attacking. This one is Sabu. This one is Sabu. This one is Sabu. For me, it's not me. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in division. Me, I don't believe in division. Me, I believe in togetherness. But if you said it now, they will attack you. If you said it now, they will attack you. Mazi, I love your teaching. I can't stop listening to your teaching. I can't stop listening to your teaching. They talk anything they like. Oh, me, I love your teaching because your teaching also make me to know who I am, to know where I am going, and who is me. That is your teaching. Imagine governors. They have everything. They have everything. Everybody is importing rice. But let me tell you, in this Germany we are. Germany don't even the car from Korea, the car from Japan. If you bring it here, you pay more tax. You bring food from Turkey, you pay more tax. Germany always like to eat their own food because they know how they work it. They know how they produce it. They know how they prepare every food. You can't see a Chinaman go to in another restaurant. I tell you, ask anybody in this Germany, nobody, no where it no be China restaurant, you can never go there eat. But you see, Africa might say, I want to go to China restaurant. I want to go to China restaurant. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let us tell ourselves the truth. We have to love what we talk about. Abakaliki rice. Nobody is talking about. Nobody is eating it again. They want to eat Cameroon rice. They want to eat Senegal rice. They want to eat this one rice. You forget your own. Even Abashu, nobody is patronizing Abashu. You can't see people patronizing Abashu. But everybody want to wear Gucci. Want to wear Dolce Gabbana. But you say governors are doing this, governors are doing that, governors are doing this. But you yourself, you can't even patronize your own. So, I love your teaching. Farm is this country. The key of this country is farm. Every house in this Germany, ask anybody that live in this area, every billionaire in this country, either they have where they're cleaning cow, or they have where they're producing all these leaves, all this tomato. Every billionaire in this country must ask everybody. Farm is the key. Farm is the key. I love your teaching. This is me. I have to open up. This is me. I can't stop listening to your program. Nobody is teaching the Biafrans what to do. Our youth want to travel to abroad. Our youth want to go to Congo. Our youth want to go to Senegal. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Gabon. I want to go to this one. But nobody is teaching them how to even to put yam on the ground. And you can. Mazi, thank you very much. This is me. I just want to thank the Biafrans. God bless you, Mazi.
Thank you very much, my brother. These are men that have Biafra at heart. It's not about our noise. This is not our life. This is not who we are. We are better than this. We have plans on how Biafra will be restored. We say Biafra will be restored without a shooting of any bullet. Today we are proud to tell you, men in the bush, we have men. Akirorwiki, we have what it takes. That is what we are teaching our youth. Then China Sanguru will bring him Urumili. I'm waiting for one of you to take me to court. And that day, you will wish you were not born. You bring him Urumili, give it to our people. You distributing him Urumili. And you people will be flogging them king. No effective governance. We can blame the politician, we can blame everybody for all we care. But the point is, the formation is not right. I do not expect everyone to understand the mindset, and we cannot open up everything on this platform. We must control our space. If you have control your agricultural space, if you control commerce and industry, this thing will open door for innovation, invention, which can only be born out of necessity. If we are able to coordinate these minor things, it will stand as a testament to the world that we can govern ourselves. It's about initiating the right principle, and then raising up men and women who are able to not just anticipate but have the capacity to improvise when necessary. Misunderstanding is necessary. It has to come up one way or the other. Two normal people cannot live or manage a space without having misunderstanding, because of the way we are designed or created. And so as far as two normal human beings occupy a particular space, they are bound to have conflicts. Maturity comes in based on the ability to manage situation and circumstance that confront them. On this platform, we know what we are doing. Today I was listening to a broadcaster who is supposed to be Nnamdi Kanu is their leader, and of course it's Nelly, saying they need to take out the internal enemy. And when he said you need to take out the internal enemy, he was referring to Chike Doziem, Tony Zulumike, the gangster called the DOS. And then it comes to my mind, when he say we have to take them out, it's not meaning we have to remove them. It's simply telling you we have to kill them. I am a saboteur from your own perspective, and you are a saboteur from my own perspective, and you are going to kill me, and then I'm going to fold my hand. Come and kill me. I tell people, some of you are making mistakes, and pray to the Almighty Creator that you don't make that mistake that will destroy you completely. Pray to God, because in 100 years, both the guilt and the innocent will pay dearly for it. But you won't understand. Chike Doziem is a criminal. You see, Tony Zulumike respects himself. I think that guy has a conscience. He just moved back. I have to be sincere. He has his own faults, but he has to pop low because he knows the truth. Former was inside betraying everybody, including Austin Abayim. They don't talk, but they are the poison. And then Nnamdi Kanu is their leader. Nnamdi Kanu is their leader. All of them. Nelly Ofuegbu, Nnamdi Kanu is their leader. All of them. Caller on the line, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening from here. You're welcome to the program.
Good evening.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I want to use this wonderful opportunity to appreciate your work, George ONYIBE, and Mazi Iche Okafor Lefo, and Mazi Kado, and every individual working positively to see to the progress and the final emancipation of Biafra in Nigeria completely. I thank you. The fact is that the work on this radio, the human rights radio, the work is making very seriously, just like the last caller have just mentioned. He said he has been enjoying the lecture from this radio, coming from your voice, directly from you. And that is to show that indeed the radio is recreating the mind of our people that has been damaged for years or months due to some criminal elements to destroy the mind of our people. I appreciate the establishment of this radio, and again, most importantly, the establishment of a Biafra de facto customary government. The house that the body that house every different group. If and you ask you just every day, what are you looking for? Think the answer will be Biafra. If you ask each and every what are you looking for, then his answer will be simply Biafra. And if you ask me, what am I looking for? Then I will answer, also Biafra. And if you ask Biafra related to the same question, then the answer will be Biafra. Then why? What is the problem? Why can't we speak one voice? We have to go, and I want to.
Unfortunate, I lost that caller. My brother, please, if you can still try and call back, and I will appreciate that, so you can complete your contribution. Sometime epileptic network, and of course he was making a very vital point. Caller on the line, your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. You send Uchenna Otege from Makodi. I just exhausted.
You're welcome,
the line.
brother. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So, as I was saying, the essence of everybody intention of Biafra is to free our people. So with all these answers from every individual who is calling, mentioning Biafra, it is all about freeing our people. So, and that is the reason why this body has been inaugurated or established and or formed. And that is the practice customary government. So, I still want to use this opportunity on behalf of this body to plead with our people. The best is the unity. Let everybody, all the groups, let them be, like, keep on doing your own work, but let it be in accordance with the human rights charter on people trying to free themselves, and that is non-violence. And when it anchors in non-violence, I think we will get to where we are going. And on getting to where we are going, we must speak in one voice. And so, be it IPOB in Mandekano, be it IPOB Uchenna, be it IPOB of George ONYIBE, we want Biafra, and we have to speak in one voice. And so, and it is only when we speak in one voice and focus on one agenda, which is Biafra, then we'll be able to control making the topic of today's podcast, which is space control. How can we control our space when we are not in charge, when we are not together, and our enemy are using that our disunity to destroy us more and more. And that is why it looks as if we are not working together. So please and please, my people, let us work together. And when we work together, we will see the fastness of where we are going. We will get to where we are going very easy. And so, all of us, some of us who have evil intentions to disrupt or to discredit this our movement, let them resist from it. Because in Igbo land, we need to say that Abato and Romine. Let's be sure that at the end of this journey, we are going to account for everything we have done, every services we have rendered under BIAFRA, not under the name Ichimogege, but under the name BIAFRA. Everything I might have done under that name, I will definitely account for it. It may look like nothing is going out of it today, but believe you me that this BIAFRA we are talking about, one day, it's going to emerge. And by the time it emerges, accountability will be rendered. So let everybody be doing what he is doing. Let them be doing what they're doing. But I will also stand on the throne of the establishment of this radio to advise our people. Let us do whatever we are doing. Let us do the positive aspect of our effort for the building of this house, which is the BIAFRA. And that will be best. And by the time we come together and work together, believe you me, the spaces which there have been reached out of our hands will be in charge, will regain it, and it will be under our control. The reason why we are not in charge of our places today, in the government we are not in charge, in the economy we are not in charge, in our resources, that is at our backyard, that is where we are marching upon, where we have built our houses upon, where we inherited from our forefathers. We are not in charge of them today because there is no unity. So let us come together. Forget about your own personal ego. Forget about whatsoever you think of. If you are working for the agent, for the enemy of BIAFRA, believe you me, one day they will turn against you. History will tell us. People who have told that way, how did they end today? I wouldn't like to go and be mentioning names, but the histories are there. And you can get how you work with the enemy and think you're going to, they will make you see. No, the more you work with the enemy, they know that one day, you will turn against them because they are using you for their own selfish purpose, and they will definitely destroy you so that you will not reveal their secrets. And so, I want to round up now by still appreciating the establishment of this radio. The radio, you are doing a wonderful work. Very, very wonderful work. Beautiful one indeed. And may God continue to strengthen every one of you. Those listening, those contributing immensely for the growth of this, you are actually listening. The God of heaven bless us all. Good day. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okeke, all the way from Makode. And of course, we continue to tell our people the truth. We continue to push forward, forge ahead. It's just a little formula that needs to be initiated, and then we are good to go. But trying to overlook those issues, ranging from unification, ranging from creating a platform that enables every component member to have their say in our say, under the effective governance, controlling our space. All we are just doing is all shall be. And some are enjoying it. They jump from left to right, they lie to you, and then they say fundraising. Honestly, we need fun. You cannot do this job without fun. If you know how much it costs me to broadcast from this part of the world, it will marvel you. People pay the bill. People pay the bill. You have to buy fuel. You have to buy data. And of course, with the data, you upload, you download, you sideload, you left load, so many things are involved. You have to run many apps at the same time to be able to reach a wider audience. But in the midst of all this, we need money. But then, in the real sense, the contribution, financial contribution of the people of Biafra to the Biafra Restoration Project is being embezzled. It's being embezzled. You can imagine for almost 10 years, all the money we contributed in different currency and denomination. Nnamdi Kanu is the Cashier General, and his sister Nina Yanya. You dare not ask them, what are we doing with the money? What Igbo Congress and those who gave them money to equip unknown gunmen, or is it ESM? Why don't you ask? Why are they killing police and carrying their gun? Let me tell you spiritual principle. You don't use a stolen gun to fight a war. A war that is just. Biafrans are not fighting to take that which belongs to another person. We are fighting to chase away the enemy from our territory. And you can't conquer darkness with darkness. They become the same thing. What does Nanya have to tell you? Anytime you come on air, it is money. Ego dosu budu, ego banko, ego itinko. Pay your money. If you don't get your receipt, you will enter Biafra. Come and block the gate. No, come and block the gate. Let us stop deceiving our people. The worst that will come, you collect amnesty. You become Jagaban. The truth has not come out yet. But meanwhile, we decide to respond to you people. So the audience or the Biafran spectators will know the truth. Like I was saying before the last caller, you are busy saying, oh, we have to take away the saboteur. Nelly now say the gangster called US, their internal enemy, and they need to be taken away. And it reminds me when they were threatening, we will kill all the saboteur, we will kill all the saboteur. So Chike Dozie now is part of the saboteur. I hope you will kill him. Saboteur makers. And you see, I hate intellectually dishonest individuals. I hate them with passion. This thing was so bad. After this program, I will send the post coming from China Sanguru. It was so bad. I told them, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. I will not agree. You cannot do it. They said, who is this guy safe? Who him be safe? My brother, I'll be one of you. I'll be Biafra. That day now they cannot jump on Radio Biafra and say, oh, there is a man they call Agwo Turumbe. The day we will come for you, you will know there is Mbe Toragwo. Chinasa publish it immediately. Who is Agwo Turumbe? All of you know George ONYIBE is okay foreign Osiwu, Sipri Osiwu. He is the one, Akerorweki, is the one that calls me Agwo Turumbe. Nnamdi Kanu came on Radio Biafra and said there is a man they call Agwo Turumbe. When we come for you, you will know there is Mbe Toro. I will publish the post, because what they do is they talk lie, they deceive the people, and then they delete it. But we were downloading them and screenshotting them. I will send the post coming from China Sanguru. And then I come on radio and I tell you that for over 100 years nobody has stood up to speak for the collective interest of Biafran people until Nnamdi Kanu came. And now what is he doing? He is speaking for the divisional interest of everybody. Disinterest. How do I put the grammar? And then you want me to be speaking with the both sides of my mouth? No. But the people of Biafra must understand what it takes. Until a platform is created where we can come out, we move by the book, not by one man. Supremacy. No, that is not what we represent. And of course, at this moment, I'm joined by our daddy in the Lord, Mazi Obinu. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mazi Obidi, can you hear me, please? Yes.
Here, but that will not stop me from doing what I have to do. And I want to thank you, first of all, for what you're doing for us. It's not easy, and this message must continue until the entire kingdom of evil is taken down. There's no way these people will do all this evil and get away with anything. By the way, let me say good afternoon from here to all Biafrans who are listening and all of us of freedom. This is your brother, Obidio Bienu. Obidio Bienu is from Oba. Oba is in Onitsha province. And of course, Onitsha province is in Biafra land. My brother, I was, kind of activated by what you're saying right now about Nelly, mentioning Nelly. I hate to call her name. Because, first of all, you, ONYIBE, is well aware that Nelly is not part of IPOB. All this Nelly saga just came in the wake of our exit from IPOB. You know well than that. Okay, so I don't want to mention her name, but the reason it's important to mention it, to call it out, is for the newer bingos to understand that they are in it for a long ride. Whether they like it or not, they must hear this truth. Because Nelly is nobody, but they are another criminal that Nnamdi Kanu recruited. Nnamdi Kanu recruited Nelly, recruited Oyibo, Rita, Ego, Oyibo, etc. These are people he recruited when he found out that he cannot do anything. When after meeting some guys in the United States here that told him what to do that he never did. Nnamdi Kanu knew that he cannot make any impact, but rather he sought for a way to destroy the family that we all built together. And finally, he gave himself up, which they now call a special, extraordinary rendition. And people are listening to these idiots. Okay? Nelly is nothing but a criminal. And Biafrans need to know this. Okay? I'm not even going to go into this DOS or whatever, because This very DOS, we already know how many years ago that they are not fit for purpose. According to Masimefo, not fit for purpose, because the purpose of the DOS is to guide Nnamdi Kanu if they are truly fighting for freedom. If truly they can tell themselves the truth, the DOS was meant to be a guide. But what did he do? He recruited all the charlatans, all the idiots, and put them around himself so he can be God. And now he's a God. I don't know why people cannot understand this simple mathematics. He became a God. Now he put himself into, after somebody had called him, he made an arrangement to go to Kenya so they can pretend it, and all our monies that we have put together for all these years will be akoko. I tell him, Nkana Siri, Nanyariani, Yablezioku, Olibuomianani, Yablezioku, Manayo Makago family. We know the Nigerian government, we know what they are planning. All those things, oh, he has not taken food. Now they have drawn his blood for 25 times. What are they going to do with his blood? Actually, they will tell you they want to test his blood to see the kind of superpower he eats. They draw his blood 25 times. Okay, somebody that is sick at the hospital, anybody that's in the medical field and listening, knows that if somebody is sick, they will take his blood. They can take blood 3 times a day. And if you multiply that, you know how many times it will be. So, for people to be going about now talking about, oh, they're drawing his blood. They have drawn his blood 25 times. That means you don't have any clue. If the doctors are trying to diagnose a lunatic like that, what it would take. So, the issue of Nelly, I'm not, any statement she's making is unsubstantiated, it's unreliable as far as I'm concerned, because the woman no we bunyushi, look at them on our Tagarian everywhere. Then you will know where they're coming from. Okay, so she now want to make herself a saint. So people need to know that the chief culprit is Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is behind him. Nnamdi Kanu invited all these people to come in pretense of my brother. Do we have any money, recovery asset and everything? Okay, from auditing. Asset recovery. Madam Bridget Muguana Pusiego, Potassin Anelli was employed. She's not happy. She just have to audit you. When she down for mother all these years when I need. But I didn't know why so I know the committee. Because all these fools are the people who make you see hiding. But Odimegwa was a deputy coordinator in New Jersey. However, he arrived to a committee that now ONYIBE, no, was saying, okay, I have also 50 priests now endorsing their email, their ESN. Now, here knows what I mood. Okay, I don't even know that people will have guts to be coming here and talking trash when you are making broadcasts. And they have refused to listen. That Nnamdi Kanu is the Leviathan. First of all, he thought he can be anti-Christ or whatever. He thought he can dissuade our people from worshiping God Almighty. You can see that now with all that is going on now. People are beginning to curse God because of the idiocy of Omar and Nadekano. People are not believing again because of the idiocy of this idiot. He worship on Radio Biafra. Okay, so enough of this a lot of this ludicrousness, I call it all the time. Enough of this. People need to know better. This guy, Ahmad himself, the only thing that sometimes you don't even know the moral or ethical grounds of Nigerian government trying him. Because we do know that place is run by the terrorists. So that's the only thing that makes a case a dilemma. It is the only reason that made the case a dilemma. And the British is well aware of what they are setting up. That's why there's so much confusion. Now people are coming out to come and speak for Onyoshi. Ekwensu Chukwubulonu. You know? Ekwensu Chukwubulonu. Whether you like it or not. Onye ọbụla ntị anya unu sasalasa ọbịakwa onye oshi ego. You, dear friends, please make sure this woman become homeless in Germany. She already come out to tell you our leader is suffering. He's suffering. Suffering for what? Ego and wait. About how many years? Where is it? We don't care you well. None whatsoever. Keto on suffer. Only Butakwana. Dear friends, what you want out to this almost soon. That's all I can say for now. My Reverend, I want to thank you for what you're doing. Dear friends, if you want your freedom, you can only get freedom by telling yourself the truth. So we encourage you to come out and don't get discouraged for what you're doing. This Satan's kingdom that Nnamdi Kanu set up must be completely destroyed, and the people of God will continue to march forward to the promised land. As we do this, we must come with truth. We must come with humility and join force and find a role to play under Biafra de facto customary government. Even as we do our own, the Ninas are not playing. The Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliances for Self-Determination, they are doing a great job. We must all work collectively because the last time I checked, Biafra is an indigenous population in Nigeria. We are not yet freedom. So Biafrans need to join force with this alliance so we can extricate ourselves from this hand of evil. My Reverend, thank you so very much. Until Biafra comes and beyond. All hail Biafra, and God bless the people of Biafra and all of us of freedom.
You see.
Thank you very much.
You see. Thank you very much. And of course, this is where we are going to draw the curtain for this evening segment. And of course, the people of Biafra must understand the truth cannot be overemphasized. We continue pointing out the truth to you until you come in terms with them. This is still Radio Biafra, Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station. By the special grace of the Almighty Creator, from tomorrow we will continue to expatiate on the areas we need to control. Clearly written, the four demand under the requirement for nationhood. One of them is effective governance. And then you have seen that to control our economic space, There are certain areas we need to dominate within our territory, not on the larger Nigeria, because charity begins at home. Not until you can control your home, you cannot influence any amount of control over others' home. I'll stop here tonight. We'll continue from where we stop tomorrow by the grace of God. I want to appreciate those of you who called in and make your positive contribution. Our people know the truth already. It's almost time for them to begin to come up and speak up. That is freedom in the first place. The boldness to see the truth irrespective of whose fault is God. This is the freedom we'll seek for. The boldness to be able to know what you want. Go for it within the preamble of law. This is freedom in the first instance. And we cannot live in denial. We cannot live under falsehood. Neither are we going to allow anybody to say the next generation. The real journey has not even begun. I sign off from here and I say God be with all of you. They will know.
Biafra's Got Talent exclusive.
After this heavy rain, please let the sun rise.
Our lives are in danger, siblings and more that all day long we have been ruled by strangers. Save my life, give us Biafra. We are begging you, please. There's nothing we can do without you. It's only you that will save my life. Chukwu Biafra, you are the one to give us Biafra. We pray, oh, just save our lives. We are your children, save our lives.
We all like sheep has gone astray. Restore our land and heal our hearts.
Save my life.
Save my life. Save my life.
Chukwu Biafra,
Almighty Father. We are begging you, please.
Same thing, living here in the zoo. Chukwu Biafra set us free. We are begging you.
See my papers, they are crying. Chukwu Biafra, we are dying. Save our land, we beg you with love.
Tears in my eyes, every day I dey cry. Nothing else I'm asking for, Lord, give me Biafra or I die. We need a clearer picture, a better future, a better future, the Lord.
Freedom is what we want, nothing more, nothing less. We are tired of the zoo and their wickedness.
Save my life, Papa.
Chukwu Biafra, give us Biafra.
We are begging you, please. We are begging you, please. When your kingdom shall come, we will know we are safe. When your kingdom shall come, we will know we are safe. Father, Lord, we lift up our hands to the air now. Chukwu can take all the glory and praise.
Send your son to give the life. Send your innocent people
Give us Biafra. Save my life. Chukwu give us Biafra. We are begging you, please.
Alele bugum, iwe webugum, obia bawagum, ndio chichi beli.
I know you can feel our anguish, but don't let us perish in the hands of our enemies.